Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Cloud Deep Dive. In today's video, we will talk about a new feature launched by AWS during reInvent 2021, which is AWS Direct Connect SiteLink. So let's first quickly look or check what Direct Connect was. Suppose you have your corporate data center and you have your applications running in AWS Cloud and you need to establish a connectivity between these two. So one of the ways you can use normal internet, you can create a connection by using normal internet and you can establish the connectivity by using internet. But the main problem with the internet is that you may face latency or throughput issues. So to solve the problem, AWS has a direct connect, which is a dedicated line between your corporate data center and between your AWS cloud. For that, AWS provided that many co-location facilities which can be near to your corporate data center. And all these co-location facilities, they have two cages. We call it two cage, and basically what it was is separating their AWS setup routers. And when you are either these routers can be the customer cage can have either your own routers or there are many partner networks who can have their own router set up in this particular facility. AWS routers, they are already connected with the AWS cloud by using AWS private backbone, network backbone. And to do a network connectivity between your corporate data center and this co-location facility, you have to establish or you have to dig up your routes and put a line between your corporate data center and your this co-location facility. And all this network provider can help you to do that. So once that line is established, you will initiate the direct connection, you will get some LOA, and then you will provide it to your co-location facility, and then somebody in that facility will create a cross connect. They will get the port number on which device, router, or if AWS you need which port you need to make the connection. They will do all this magic behind the scene for you. After doing this, that you can create your private wave or public wave or transit wave. So that's how the transit or direct connect gateway or direct connect will be set up. And you can create connection or you can start flowing your traffic between AWS cloud and your corporate data center. Now, if you have a corporate data center in two different locations, you can create the connection by using two different co-location facilities. But now in this case, your corporate data center can talk to AWS cloud and data can flow between each other. But what if the corporate data center need to talk to each other? Suppose this corporate data center need to send traffic to this corporate data center or the vice versa. Is it possible? Till reInvent 2021, it was not possible. The traffic between these two corporate data center was not allowed by using your direct connect connections. They can use the internet or they can establish another kind of connectivity between these corporate data center, but they were not able or they were not allowed to use your direct connect connection to communicate between each other. So SiteLink solved this feature. With SiteLink, what you can do that you can enable the SiteLink on your private or transit wave, and you can do it while creating a new private wave, or you can also do it on your existing wave. So one thing keep in mind that if you already have everything established, you don't need to change anything. There's a small checkbox in the private wave which you can go and just enable it, and that will enable the SiteLink. This that simple. So once the SiteLink is enabled on these two private wave, it will allow you to send traffic between these two corporate data centers. So another thing to keep in mind that this SiteLink cannot be enabled on your public wave. It cannot be enabled on a private wave which does not which does not have direct connect gateway attachment. If your private gateway is directly attached to a virtual private gateway, then you cannot enable SiteLink. So these 2 points keep in mind, because you can be tricked in the exam asking that your private wave is connected to a virtual private gateway, and they might talk about enabling the SiteLink. So it is not possible. Direct connect gateway has to be there for SiteLink. Okay, so now let me show you on the console that where you can enable it. So I have logged in into my console, and if I go to my virtual interface, you can do create virtual interface or you can open the existing one, and in the bottom here you will see SiteLink optional. So you can enable it or disable it anytime. So if you already have a private wave, you can go ahead and enable it, and if you're creating a new, then you can enable it. So it's just kind of a one single checkbox which you need to tick mark to enable or disable this site link. So the other question you might have in your mind, that why by just enabling the site link feature, these two corporate data center, they are able to talk to each other, right? It's just kind of like single button which you checkbox which you clicked, and now they start talking to each other. So for that, let's understand that how routing work in Direct Connect, and that will give you the answer that why these two data center are able to communicate to with each other after enabling this feature. So if I talk about the normal AWS Direct Connect gateway, what happens that this corporate data center, as you know, that TrackNet works on the BGP peering, and in BGP peering, that whatever routers are connected with each other, they advertise their path, whatever path they know from their peering network, they advertise it to the next one so that they can have those paths and they can communicate with each other. In this case, in case of DirectNet as well, your corporate data center announces the path. Hey, I have my IP address is range of this, and my ASN number is this. And if you want to reach to me, you can use this uh, ASN number and the IP range. It goes to DirectNet gateway. Similarly, the other data center does the same thing. Now, DirectNet gateway, it establishes a BGP pairing with the logical device which is sitting in the co-location facility, and they work in the control plane and data plane fashion. So what it does, that it re-advertises the path which it learned to all its peering connections. So one is the peering connection, it has association of the transit gateway or maybe virtual private gateway. It announces these paths to them so that they can talk to each other with this corporate data center. But in this case, when the site link is not enabled, DirectNet Gateway does not re-advertise the path of the data center to another data center. It just re-advertises the path to the internal virtual private gateway or transit private gateway, but it does not re-advertise the corporate center or external IP addresses path to another corporate center. So that's why when you have SiteLink not enabled, these corporate center does not know the path for the another corporate center through the DirectNet gateway. So that's why they are not able to talk to each other. Now, once the SiteLink is enabled, DirectNet gateway will start re-advertising these paths to the another corporate center. So in this case, you will see that the IP address of the CIDR range of corporate center with the ASN 64512 is advertised to this corporate center, and CIDR block of this corporate center data center 1 path is advertised to corporate data center 2. So that's how they know the path of each other, and now they can start communicating with each with between these two data center by using your direct connect link. Now you might see that 65001 it prepends. So what it does, that when it advertises this path, there is a one logical device sitting in between these two data center through which the data will be routed or will flow. So if this corporate data center will have a path say, hey, the next hop is ALD device, and from the next ALD device the data will go to your corporate data center. So that's why you see that Direct Gateway pre-prepends its own ASN number in the route which is advertised. If we take an example of two co-location facility, the same thing happened, but you will see the path is prepended by twice because there are two ALD device sitting in between this path. So corporate data center will send data to first ALD device, it will go to the second ALD device, and then it will go to your corporate data center. So now you see that once we enable this site link, Direct Connect Gateway started re-advertising this path, and this corporate center knows the path of other corporate center. If we take another example, suppose you have three data centers and they are connected to Direct Connect Gateway by using private wave, but you enabled site link only on two private waves. The third one you didn't enable it. So all three data center will advertise their path to DirectNet gateway, which will again get re-advertised to private or transit gateways. But when it re-advertises this path back to data centers, only WIFs which has site-link enabled will get these paths re-advertised. The one which is not enabled, where the private site-link is not enabled, this data center won't know or won't get any re-advertisement of other data center routes. So this data center won't be able to talk to any of other data center because it does not know any of the path. but other two data center, because they know paths of each other, they can talk to each other. So one thing to remember, that if your site link is not enabled on your private WIF, then you won't know the path of other data center and you cannot talk to those data centers. And to make sure that if you want to have your corporate data center to talk to another corporate data center on your Direct Connect, you need to make the private WIF enabled. So that's all about SiteLink, and how routing work, how you can enable it, and why AWS need to launch this feature. Hope you liked this video and learned something new today. Please let me know if you have any question. I'll be happy to answer it. And I'll be putting more videos on new features AWS launched recently or in the past. Please like the video, hit on the bell icon, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye.